know why I feel this way. Every day I wanna run away. I think I'll go back to that place I stay. Play on the server the TimeShot way. Hello people, it's Poet. We're back on TimeShot. I apologize in advance for any bizarre things I may say. It is so late at night, but I really wanted to get this done. Just taking down the dinosaur, and I don't know what else I might be working on. Maybe just even coming up with ideas for down in the donor room, but... Oh, hello. Wait a minute. What's this? What's this? What's this? Dino steak. Dino steak and bone meal? That's kind of cute that that was in there. But anyway, yeah, it's really late. I wanted to get this done. As you know, because it's obvious, episode 100 is coming up fairly soon, and there are a lot of people on the server who are near episode 100. Now, synchronizing our episodes to all be at episode 100, it's not like the biggest deal in the world. We don't really need to do it. There was nothing really saying that we had to. It kind of all just worked out that way as all of us sort of started posting or in and around the same time, and you know, we've all been on here for a great deal of time. Some of us post more frequently than others, obviously, and I doubt that we'd be able to synchronize like episode 200, for example. That probably won't happen. At the rate that it's going, there will be people on this server who are at episode 200 before I'm even at episode 150, it seems. So it's kind of cool, I guess. It's just the easiest way to say it. It's cool. It's cool that we're all at the same episode, sort of at the same time, and so I think we'd like to synchronize them a little bit. As such, because I'm actually a little bit behind, and I don't even know how that happened, because usually I post fairly frequently, but I know just something, it's not like anything came up or anything, just it got a little bit busy with other projects, a lot of the UHCs and races for moons and Mega Walls episode 100s and things like that, where, okay, suddenly I don't really need to post all this TimeShot content, so I haven't. It's just that simple. But now I'm kind of regretting it because now I'm a little bit behind and I'm having to catch up. So what I wanted to do, I don't know if I will be able to do it, because these are kind of my episodes that I put a little bit more care and effort and love into, I'll say. These are the episodes where... Wait a minute. How am I going to get... This is going to be tough here. I'm going to actually drop down. Not there. Actually, feather falling 4. Yep, I'll drop down right there. There we go. What I was saying is, I would like to put an episode out one day. Wait, what am I saying? I'd like to put an episode out every day of the week, but that's difficult because TimeShot is generally the episodes I put a little bit more care into, a little bit more thought into, things like that. Let me try to sort these things. Okay, so I still don't have anything labeled, and I've sort of forgotten where everything is, so this is a little bit annoying, I admit. Things like bone meal. I don't know where to put bone meal. Where do I put bone meal? Maybe in, like, the dye chest? Kind of? Kind of. I don't know. Okay, so we got some hardened clay that goes into the hardened clay chest. Bam. We got lime as well. Wool. Go to the wool chest. Acacia. Whoops. I don't really have an acacia area. Wonder if I should just put all of the wood into one chest, kind of like I did for the logs. All planks in one, all stairs in one, all slabs in one, maybe. I think maybe that's what I'm gonna do. It's a little bit easier that way. Yeah. Why don't I do that? Okay, so I'm just gonna grab everything back. Uh-oh. Running out of space here. I'll just throw all my tools and stuff in there for now. What is this sword? Where did I even get that sword? Huh? I don't remember. String in there. And that for now. And that. So, I wanted to catch up to the episodes, is what I was getting to. I didn't really finish that thought. I wanted to catch up in episodes, and I'll do my best, I think, but no guarantees. What I might end up doing is just kind of, I don't know. I have no idea at this point, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what the plan otherwise might be, but I'll think of something. Okay. There. Want all these slabs. Look at all these. And then all these stairs, huh? Okay, so slabs can go in here, I guess. What is this, dark? Oak. Okay. Like that. And then maybe spruce there. Oak like that. I spaced them because I want birch, acacia, jungle, so on. Put those in there. So anyway, like I said, like I was getting to, I'm getting so distracted by all of this. As you guys know, I can't do two things at once. I wanted to do, and it's really, really, really late. I can't stress that enough. I've been getting to bed so much earlier, and I'm just like, I'm shattered, as Liam used to always say. I put more care and effort into these episodes. I like doing these episodes with a lot more care. It's hard to explain, but I kind of like the ideas of telling a story or something that has a little bit more meaning in it, or that kind of thing. I don't like just record. I don't like to record and all it is, if I can help it, me just building or doing something that otherwise, it's just a normal episode of Minecraft. I like putting a little bit more of a message into the episodes. So for me to do one a day for an entire week would be extraordinarily difficult, I think. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Of course, it depends on a lot of things. If I can find different things to talk about is the biggest one, obviously. But I guess I'll try. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. So in this episode, being one of the first ones of the week, yeah, I kind of have it simple because I have it easy, not simple. I have it easy because I kind of already know some potential things that I could talk about. What am I doing? Look at this. I got too many blocks of iron right now. And none of those were taken from a golem farm or anything like that. Those blocks of iron were all mined legitly. Crazy. So I wanted to take down this dinosaur today, just to get that out of the way. right off the bat. Not that I don't love it, and I actually did think about it. I was thinking, well, maybe I should leave it for the world download. You know, a lot of people like seeing things like that in the world download, and I didn't really look at it in too great a detail, even after that episode. I mean, it is what it is. You can tell what it is. I like it. But at the same time, it does take up a massive portion of the land in this area. And if I gotta have my thinking cap on to decide different projects and stuff, unfortunately, I don't know that I can have this thing here. It's too big a distraction. Literally, it's a massive dinosaur. It's a distraction. But I do love it. I almost feel bad taking it down in a way. I feel bad because you guys won't physically be able to see it. And because it took time to build, obviously, and I'm just tearing it all down. But that's the way that Minecraft works, right? I've often said, even going way back to the Red Cube days, you know, you build things in Minecraft with the sole purpose of, you know, maybe one day tearing it all down again. But that's what Minecraft is all about. Building and rebuilding. So someone built this. I'm taking it down. Maybe something else will be built in its place. I don't know. Let's see. Ooh, look at the lighting glitch there. I've been noticing a lot of lighting glitches recently with 1.8 that I'd never really realized were there before. Or maybe they were, maybe they weren't. But I thought that lighting glitches were, by and large, taken care of. But all of a sudden I see weird shadows like that, and especially near lava lakes and stuff in underground, there's lots of lighting glitches still. It's weird. Weird, weird, weird. I don't like it because mobs spawn inside of those lighting glitches, it seems. Mind you, I think that I'd almost need to go around this walkway and put torches on the inside wall as well. Because I've actually seen creepers, skeletons, and what have you spawning up there. So, not good. Not good. Okay. So, today, like I said, I kind of have it easy today because this is one of the first times I'm recording. Even though it is late and I probably won't really be able to think straight. It's really, I gotta be honest with you, it's actually difficult to even keep my train of thought for more than a minute at this time of night, so I'm really concentrating, probably a lot harder than your average person needs to, but that's who I am. That's what I am. I can't help who I am. So let's see. I did say a while ago, a few episodes ago, that I wanted to kind of go on about that Draw My Life episode. I'm still on about that. Yeah, I'm still on about that. I did want to go on to kind of elaborate on things a little bit more. One of the things that strikes me the most is how often I get the comment from so many people. It's not like it just happened once. This is from, like, let's say 30, 40 different comments. And of those 30, 40 different comments, they all say, wow, your life was so sad. Or I'll get comments of people saying that they cried when they watched it, or how heartbroken they felt, and things like that. And, you know, from my perspective, I am touched. I obviously am touched. I'm not just touched in the head. No, I'm touched that people feel this way, that they were able to, like, have some kind of an emotional connection to my life and that kind of thing. But quite often when they're saying, you know, oh, your life was so sad. Oh, I didn't know you had such a hard life and this and that. I mean, this is my life. This is how I grew up. This is all that there was. There was, like, I didn't get a choice. I didn't have a choice. To me, though, it wasn't a bad life. So that's kind of, for me, it's hard to grasp the concept that the way that I grew up, the things that I experienced, might be sad or bad or a little bit heartbreaking to some people. When to me, I felt very privileged. Yeah, I mean, it might sound weird. I mean, so many people were saying, wow, your life is so sad. Wow, you had such a bad life. Oh, blah, blah, blah. But to me, it wasn't sad. To me, it wasn't bad. To me, it was a good life. It's not like I'm dead or anything now. It sounds almost like I'm talking about someone who's passed away. He lived such a good life. But honestly, like I didn't have anything really wrong happen to me. I mean, sure, bad things happen in life sometimes. Unfortunate circumstances, unfortunate things. What happened to my friend there. But I always took those things to make me stronger. I never once let them make me sad. And I think that's maybe where the rift happens. Why I have trouble maybe trying to understand why people might find it sad or how they could have found it sad when I didn't. Because that was the most striking thing. Ran out of picks. That was the most striking thing, was that so many people found it sad. And yet I'm thinking, I almost felt a little bit offended in some cases. I'm not saying I was offended, but it's like almost, you know? Where I was kind of proud of my upbringing. I've often been proud of the way that I was brought up by the places I've been and what I've done and this and that. And then to have a lot of people suddenly say to me, oh, we feel sorry for you. You know, that's a little bit hard to take, is kind of the easiest way for me to say it. It's not a bad thing. And I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to try to reiterate, is that, you know, I'm not saying to people, don't feel the way you do. I'm just saying that for me, as a person who is still growing, as a person who is still learning, as a person who is still changing every day of my life, and I'm still growing up. I'm older now, but I'm still growing up. For me, it was just kind of one more thing in my life where it was kind of interesting to see what other people actually thought of it for the very first time. You know, I never told those kinds of stories to anybody. I never actually went so far as to, like, have people not judge my life, but observe it, sort of, from the outside. Whoopsie. I'm down here now. Looks like I'm just trapped here. One day I'll clean this up, maybe. There's no real point in doing that, but maybe one day. Now I'm kind of stuck. Here we go. There we go. I'll have to patch this up a little bit. But anyway, for me it was so weird, I guess, to have people tell me what they thought about my life. And for it to be, I wouldn't say negative, but definitely a lot of them were kind of really heartfelt and almost sorrowful expressions about my life, the way I grew up and what happened to me. And to me that was a little bit hard to take, I'll admit. But not in a bad way. I'm not saying like that was hard to take, I don't want to hear it. And that's kind of what I'm trying to stress too, is, you know, I am very appreciative of every single comment that I got. I think that the people who did feel sad didn't do so to make me feel bad in any way, obviously. it was all just kind of that emotional connection that everybody was kind of sharing after watching it, and that's something that I really appreciate. But for me, it wasn't what I expected, because actually, when I made it, when I made that Draw My Life, when I was finished with it, when I finally had completed it, the end product was done, I had edited, everything was done. I was so proud of it. I thought, oh yeah, this is so awesome. I can't believe I finally did this. It's such an accomplishment. So cool. This Draw My Life thing, I can't draw at all. But hey, this is great. And then it was like such sad comments. I can't believe it. But that's what it drew out of people. That's what it meant to people, I guess. And it's just so, do you know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I mean? I hope you do. I hope you do. That I'm not mad, I'm not sad, I'm not upset or anything like that about the way that people reacted. It was just kind of unexpected. And that's what I mean to say. Is that it was just an unexpected way of looking at it that I never really thought about. So, with that whole thing said, I mean, there is so much more that I can elaborate on. And that's why back when I had first released it and I had made an episode of TimeShot, I said that I wanted to elaborate more on it. Because there was a part of me, I think, that after I had made it and I saw all these comments coming out saying, wow, you had such a bad life. Wow, you had such a hard life. I feel so sorry that you had to go through that kind of thing. I feel so sorry. It just made me feel like, well, maybe I didn't quite send the right message, you know? The other thing, because I guess I didn't even realize that it was a sad experience, that it was a bad experience. I always took everything that happened as a growing experience, as something that everyone ultimately goes through. I was no different. Roll with the punches kind of mentality. But yeah, it's just so weird. So that's why I was starting to think like, well, oh, here's the thing, is that originally, like, go back even a year more when the Draw My Life things were like really popular, and I even referenced that in the video that I made, was like, well, after a year after they were popular, I'm finally doing one. Yeah, well, there was a time when they were all over the place and everybody was making one, kind of like the ALS bucket challenges. Everybody started to do them, and I watched a lot of them and I thought, wow, these are some pretty sad stories, some of them. It seems like quite a few people who do YouTube videos didn't quite have the greatest experience growing up. Some of them. Some of them, they did. They did have pretty nice experiences growing up. Families and support groups that they could turn to. Others not so fortunate. But it always seemed like some of them were so sad. And I thought to myself, when it came down to it, I thought, wow, you know, these are so sad, all these videos. I don't know what I'll do because my life wasn't sad. That's literally what I thought. That is exactly what I thought. So, I'm actually going to put these two together. They look so much the same, so why not? Anyway, I didn't even think about it. I didn't think that my life was a sad one, that I would have a problem. I thought to myself, wow, I don't have anything to talk about because my life wasn't like a dramatic life. And yet when I made it, the finished product, people seemed to think, the people who watched seemed to think that there was maybe something emotional there. But yeah, that's why ultimately, like, I was starting to think maybe I said something wrong. Maybe I cut it wrong. You know, like, did I do something that made it seem a lot sadder than it actually was? But I think that it was just, you know, upon reflecting on it, I think it was just, you know, my interpretation of what I went through wasn't sad, wasn't bad. And to other people who may have it better than I did, in some way, they might think that, you know, yeah, you had it bad. You had a very what's the word for it? Well, just an unfortunate upbringing. But to me, I look at it like this. You know, my family didn't have a lot of money. And I mean, my parents tried the best that they could. They never celebrated very many holidays. Anniversaries were never, ever, ever celebrated. Things like that. There was no real love in the house, if you know what I mean. My parents didn't and still don't get along. My sister didn't get along with any of them either. There was a lot of frustration in the house. But beyond all of that, both of my parents did their utmost best to try to make the experience of just living, of just being the best that they could. You know, I would go to school and a lot of the kids would be into the big brands, the brand name clothing and things like that. And it's the same today. And it's the typical, like you see this in movies, the typical geek kid who wants to be cool, who wants to have the coolest clothing and the best clothing and the Nike shoes and the brand name Adidas shirts and jackets and things like that. Like that was me. I wanted that kind of stuff to fit in. And my parents obviously couldn't afford that kind of stuff, but still did their best, did their absolute best to try to do it for me. You know, and even to the point of they probably took on a lot more debt back in those days than, you know, today. I understand very well that if I want a certain thing, it will cost a certain amount of money. But back then, it was almost as if the money it was always going to be there. There was never an issue. And that's what I mean by saying, you know, my parents, I know now, looking back at it now, I know what they went through, what they had to do, and what it cost them, what it obviously must have cost them, and how much that when I was a kid, I took it all for granted, so much of it. What am I going to do with all this? What am I going to do with all this? I'll take what I can, I guess. Kind of the things that I know I can sort into chests. There we go. So, you know, my parents did their best to make my growing up not hard on me or my brother included. They did their absolute best. And it showed, you know, I didn't feel like we were really that poor. I know now, you know, what my parents went through, what they're still going through financially. And it's just a different perspective now that I'm older. But when I was a kid, they made it pain-free, you know. If I needed to go to the dentist, I would go to the dentist. I didn't question where the money came from. I didn't need to. So was it a hard life? Let me just say this, you know, I had a roof over my head, and I was very well fed. There were never, ever any complaints about food or that kind of thing. It was not a matter of, you know, struggling to the point where we don't have anything kind of thing. It's hard to even explain. But for a lot of the things that people were saying, yeah, you have a hard life, for me, I was thinking, there are those out there who have it a lot worse. You know, people who would be so happy to have parents, so happy to have a roof over their heads, and things like that. I had things like that. So for me, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad life, you know. Maybe we didn't get the newest toys, the best brand names, or the video game consoles when they were new. You know, the only time I got an NES was when the SNES was released. My brother and I didn't complain. We loved it. We loved it and never once complained about it. The only thing we complained about was who got to play next, who got to be player one. You know, that kind of thing. We never once thought for a second, well, you know, why can't we have an SNES? You know, we were happy having what we had. So I mean, it's all perspective, I guess. One person can say you had a really bad life, but in my opinion, I always thought that it was a pretty good life. You know, what could be better than the ability to be clothed, fed, living in a nice warm house all the time, without ever needing to question where the money was, where the money came from, that kind of thing. To me, I think that's fine. That's great life. So, I mean, there were other things that happened. Unfortunate things. I think that's probably a topic for another day. I definitely want to go over school. You know, and I think that it would probably, me talking about it might help a lot of people too. I've often heard from people that they might be having a hard time in school as far as like bullying and even just getting along with other people and things like that. And I do really wish that I could kind of talk in detail about what I went through, how I went through it, how I got through it, what happened. Because the way that the Draw My Life thing cut it was kind of like, I went to elementary school. I didn't have any friends. I went to high school, a new high school. I thought I could get friends then, and I did at first, but then I lost them all. You know, and that kind of thing. The truth of the matter is that over the years, I did have a few close friends. I mean, it's not like I didn't talk to anybody for 12 years of my life. I do want to talk about that definitely a little bit more, elaborate on it a little bit more, and kind of talk about what happened, especially as far as bullying and that kind of thing is concerned. More maybe elaborating on why I changed to a different high school, as opposed to going to where everyone else did, who I knew. So, I mean, there's a lot that I can talk about. That'll be for maybe the next episode, the episode after, I don't know, whenever I can fit it in. But today's episode was just kind of more along the lines of saying, you know, sometimes you got to reflect on your life and try to see it through the eyes of another person. And that's kind of what happened to me, was that, you know, I always viewed my life as a pretty good life. Nothing to complain about. I've never complained. Never once. And yet I had a bunch of people telling me that it was sad, that they were touched by it, that they felt bad about it, that they wished that they could have done something. And that really shocked me, I guess, in a way. But with that, I think I'm going to end the episode there. It's definitely something to think about. Like I said, it's not that I'm upset, not that I'm sad or anything like that. I was just kind of a little bit... shocked is definitely the word. Intrigued. Curious. Humbled. I'm not sure what the right word would be. Maybe the hour of the day has something to do with it, but I definitely didn't think that people would take my life quite the way that they did. So, it was definitely eye-opening. It gave me something to reflect about. And maybe you guys should do the same. Think about what you go through. Is it really that bad? Is it really that good? I don't know. For me, everybody seems to think that, yeah, it was kind of... You had a lot of bad things happen to you. It's too bad. For me, I was content. Keep in mind, I was a very independent person. I grew up being that shy, independent person. And so, in a way, I was really happy being that independent person. You know, one person can say, wow, you had no friends? That's really sad. For me, maybe I was really happy being alone. So there's two sides to everything. It's time to reflect. So with that, like this video and comment below. Do all those other awesome things that you people do. And we'll see you next time on TimeShot. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. Wait a minute. I can't say bye-bye yet because there's one more thing. There's one more thing. The thing that I said that I would do the last time but I didn't do it is the donation thing. Oh, okay. And I got it. I got it this time. Run down the side of the steps. I have to like run down the sides all the time. That's the weirdest part. Slabs. They're an issue. Grab that. And I got a sign. So I'm good to go. Ready to rock this donor out. It's just the one. I said that there might have been two, but there was just the one. I was thinking of the other previous one. This $1 donation. But this is a new one. It is there, and it is here, and it is from, let me see, I just wrote it down, Maranatah. Maranatha, I think. I might get that. I might be having that wrong. But keep in mind, like I said, it is now 1 in the morning, and I've been getting to bed like 11 at night, so this is 2 hours past my bedtime. I'm doing my best. Maranatha, you know your name. So thank you so much for that $5 donation. The message that was sent with it says, supporting my favorite server, Hearts. Thank you so much. 50% of every single donation received. The link is in the description. 50% goes directly to a charity of my choosing. And, yeah, it's a wonderful thing. Sometimes 100%, I'll be perfectly honest. Sometimes 100% goes to a charity of my choosing. Probably, actually, if I'm to think about it, I don't know that I've ever kept that 50%. I always say 50% will go to a charity of my choosing. I can't actually think of a time when the other 50% went to myself. Like I don't buy anything for myself. Food maybe, but I don't really, the money that I get from PayPal goes directly into like paying for this server. So I don't know, it's like 100% sometimes. Anyway, with that, I can finally say bye-bye. So we'll be seeing you on the next episode of TimeShot. Bye-bye!